We did have some frustration. We were advised late last night that the shipment we were expecting next week will be reduced. We're frustrated by that.
We do have some breaking news tonight. The same week that Washingtonians first get vaccinated for coronavirus, some bad news from the federal government. The next shipment of vaccines will be much smaller than originally expected. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Regina On.
And I'm Tom Sherry. Mark and Whitney are off tonight. Washington State's coronavirus vaccine allocation is being cut by 40% next week. Our Casey Decker joins us live now with what we know. Casey.
Hey, Tom, Regina. Well, what we know, first of all, is that this is not affecting the current batch of vaccines. Washington State is still getting 62,000 doses of that Pfizer vaccine this week. It's next week's shipment that is going to be significantly smaller. Now, that one initially was supposed to be about 75,000 doses. Now it'll be closer to 45,000. This information was passed on to the states by the CDC. In Idaho, their next shipment will go from just about 17,000 to just under 10,000. Adding to the frustration, no one really knows why these allocations are being reduced. But Washington Governor Jay Inslee says it doesn't seem to be a problem with production on Pfizer's end, rather some sort of communication issue at the federal government.
Obviously, this is frustrating to us to, not have the shipment come when we were told by the federal government it was coming. But the good news here is there's no indication that there's some systemic long-term problem. Having the production that we need is the most important thing. We heard Pfizer today state that they have the vials in the warehouse ready to ship. They're just waiting for the orders from the federal government. That's really good news. It doesn't appear that it's a production problem, at least according to Pfizer at the moment. So we're hoping that this is a communication glitch.
There is some good news, though. The Moderna vaccine is progressing, and the state secretary of health says if approved, Washington could receive a shipment of 128,000 doses next week. He also said that whereas in the past we've gotten these dosage numbers about a month ahead of time, from now on it'll be more like a week in advance. I'll send things back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Casey, thank you. And across Washington State now, SeaTac International Airport is keeping a runway open just for the FedEx shipments of the vaccine. The FAA is urging airports across the country to be extra alert to the weather to keep those vaccines safe.
And the number of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine that's expected to arrive in Idaho next week has also been significantly reduced, with the state now set to receive 44% less than the expected amount. The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare says no explanation was given as to why the number of vaccines was dramatically reduced. Idaho Governor Brad Little responded to the statewide cutback, calling on Idahoans to remain vigilant in the fight against the virus.
The vaccine efficacy rate for symptomatic COVID-19 infection was 94.1%. We also observed a dramatic reduction in severe cases.
Moderna's coronavirus vaccine is on the verge of being approved for emergency use in the U.S., the second vaccine designed to fight the virus. As hospitals across the country fill up, federal officials say they're ready to roll out almost 8 million doses of Moderna's vaccine as early as next week. Teenagers as young as 16 can get the Pfizer vaccine. Moderna is asking for emergency use authorization for people 18 and older.
And tomorrow, Vice President Mike Pence is set to get the vaccine. The White House reports he and his wife Karen will receive shots. And then next week, President-elect Joe Biden is also set to get the vaccine publicly. Now, we know that this is a lot of information about the new COVID-19 vaccine.
And that's why here at KREM, we created the vaccine team. So do you have a vaccine question that you'd like to ask? Just text your questions to 509-448-2000.
And for the latest vaccine updates so that you can stay up to speed, just text the word vaccine to that same number. We'll send a link right to your phone. Today, the Panhandle Health District is reporting 196 new COVID-19 cases. 146 people have died from the virus in North Idaho. 101 of those deaths were in Kootenai County alone. The health district is also reporting 84 people in the hospital. Kootenai Health is pausing elective surgeries through January 10th. This is amid record numbers of COVID-19 hospitalizations. Kootenai Health also says the hospital is also facing staffing challenges as COVID-19 continues to spread in North Idaho. The changes take effect at Kootenai Health today. They do not affect screening and imaging procedures that occur in outpatient settings. We're talking about colonoscopies, mammograms, cardiac stress tests, ultrasounds, and similar procedures.
You at 6 now. Following Governor Jay Inslee's announcement of new guidance for in-person learning, interim Spokane Health Officer Dr. Frank Velasquez says he's in support of Spokane County school districts to allow phasing in additional grades 3rd through 5th for in-person learning starting in mid-January. He said today in part, quote, the collective responsibility to slow the spread of COVID-19 remains. If we want to move forward with in-person learning, we all need to work together by following the health measures and by receiving the vaccine when it's available to you, end quote. And today there are 575 new COVID-19 cases in Spokane County. 3 new deaths have been reported. The Spokane Regional Health District is also reporting there are 88 people in the hospital. And talking about weather now, a lot of rain that we're seeing, at least for my drive home last night. And how is it looking for the rest of this week? Also rainy?
Well, yeah, I think we're going to get more rain expected as a little bit tomorrow night, a lot more Saturday night into Sunday. And that evening rain we talked about yesterday just fell in the form of rain instead of snow. 37 degrees right now. Wind is out of the south at 7 miles per hour. You take a look at the latest radar, pretty dry now across most of eastern Washington, just a few snow showers in the mountainous areas. So 30s this evening. We'll look for an overnight low of 30 degrees tonight, so the roads could ice up. 40 the expected high tomorrow, well above the average high of 32. And I've got late day rain, most likely evening rain. Around 7 o'clock in the evening, we think is when we'll see that. And then for the weekend, warm temperatures. 48 expected on Sunday. Look for rain to fall Saturday night into Sunday. I will tell you, though, we've got much more typical winter temperatures expected next week as we roll into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I'll have a look at your 10-day forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. That is almost like t-shirt and shorts weather, but with a raincoat. There you go. I don't know. All right, coming up here, news of the first shipments of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine was met with hope and relief by many, but it also led to a lot of questions about the vaccination process and how people will get their doses. We verify if you have to get the same vaccine for both doses. That's coming up after the break.